You know, in the world of digital security, the ground is always shifting under our feet. And the threats we're facing today, they're not just lines of code anymore. They're intelligent, they're adaptive, and they're evolving at a pace that is, frankly, terrifying. Okay, let's jump right into this new battlefield.
Okay, picture this. This is your screen. You've just started your new gig in the Cyber Threat Intelligence Division for a global company. Welcome to the team. Your mission, and it starts right now, is to get up to speed on the world we're operating in.
So, welcome to Threat Intelligence. Your first official assignment is to get a real handle on the most advanced threats out there, and I mean specifically the ones being powered by artificial intelligence. What you figure out is going to directly shape our entire strategy, our defenses, everything from the boardroom down to the security team on the front lines. The stakes couldn't be higher, so let's get you briefed.
To really get what's happening now, you got to understand where we've come from. The last decade has been a total game changer in cybercrime. We've moved from hackers manually breaking into systems to attacks that can literally think for themselves.
Just look at this timeline. It shows a pretty startling acceleration, right? A few years back, we were mostly dealing with organized groups using these pre-packaged tools to hit known weaknesses. But now, as we look ahead, we are bracing for what we call cognitive and autonomous attacks. These are threats that can learn, adapt, and make their own decisions on the fly. Our window to react? It's shrinking fast.
Let me put it another way. The old threats were manual, like a burglar carefully picking a lock. The new threats are intelligent and automated. So think less like a single burglar and more like an army of invisible thinking robots that are custom designing a key for every single door, all at the same time.
Okay, theory is one thing, but real intelligence, that's built on cold, hard evidence. So it's time to open up the case files and see how these AI-powered threats are actually playing out in the real world. This stuff right here, this is the core of your briefing.
$25 million. That's what a single deepfake attack cost a huge company in Hong Kong just this year. So what happened? A finance employee joins a video call with who they thought was their chief financial officer and a few other colleagues. They saw their faces, they heard their voices, but it was all fake. A complete AI-generated fabrication. So here's the really crucial takeaway from that. Attackers are no longer just exploiting holes in software. They are exploiting the vulnerability of human perception itself. They are weaponizing trust.
Our next case file shows what happens when modern ransomware hits our critical infrastructure. Now, while the 2021 Colonial Pipeline attack wasn't a super sophisticated AI, it's the perfect example of the kind of chaos AI is going to amplify. A group called DarkSide brought almost half of the East Coast's fuel supply to a complete stop. It was a massive wake-up call for how vulnerable these systems really are.
And the lesson here is just staggering. All of that disruption, which affected millions and millions of people, it all started with a single compromised password for a VPN account. That's it. It's a huge reminder that even our most vital infrastructure can have one tiny, fragile point of failure.
And that fragility isn't just in giant industrial plants. It's in our homes, it's in our offices. Our next file is all about the Internet of Things, or IoT. Every smart camera, every smart thermostat, every connected router, each one is a potential soldier in a cybercriminal's army. Botnets like Mirai can hijack millions of these unsecured devices to launch these enormous global attacks.
The takeaway here is really simple, but it's so critical. All the convenience we get from our smart devices comes with a huge security debt. If we're not constantly updating them and using smart network segmentation, basically creating barriers so a hacked smart fringe can't get to your work laptop, we're just leaving millions of digital doors wide open for them. And finally, let's talk about an old classic that's gotten a terrifying upgrade: phishing. Yeah, forget those old emails with bad grammar. AI can now scan your social media, understand your job, your projects, and then write a perfectly convincing email from your CEO about that report you just posted online. It makes it almost impossible to spot the fake.
So, the bottom line is this. AI has turned phishing from a small-time craft into a full-blown industry. It can scale these incredibly personal attacks to millions of people at once. The only way we can possibly fight back is with our own AI, one that can spot the subtle behaviors of an attack, not just look for a suspicious link.
All right, you've reviewed the files, you've seen the impact. Now it's time to pull all your work together into the final deliverable, a professional threat briefing that sums up all the key intelligence for leadership. And here it is, your finished threat summary table. See how we've boiled down each of these complex cases into just the essentials? We've got the attack name, the year, the specific vector they used, everything from a deepfake video to a simple stolen password, the industry they targeted, and the real-world impact. This is how we turn raw data into intelligence that leaders can actually use to make critical decisions.
Okay, for the final part of your briefing, let's zoom out a bit. We've talked a ton about AI as a weapon, but that is only half the story. It's also our most powerful shield in what's become a full-blown AI arms race.
And this brings us to our side of the fight. For every AI-powered attack out there, there's a team of defenders like us using AI to fight back. We use machine learning to spot unusual network behavior that might signal an attack. We use AI to analyze malware in seconds instead of hours, and we automate our responses to block threats at machine speed. On this new battlefield, the only way to fight a smart algorithm is with an even smarter one.
And that really brings us to the fundamental question, the one that's going to define this entire industry for the next decade. As both the attackers and the defenders weaponize AI, who's ultimately going to have the upper hand? That's the question you're here to help us answer. Your briefing is complete. Welcome to the team. Now, the real work begins.